work out. Sentinels, though, they are becoming a very resilient team. You know, even when they're in these tough spots, I like when we're getting to highlight huhi, and he's talking about, you know, keeping their eyes on the prize, right? Like, you know, how they want to play it out in these different situations to give themselves the best possible chance to win or at least be competitive. And we're seeing that, I feel like, more and more.
Yeah, certainly are.
Interesting.
Vayne has actually been so popular as a top lane, and then Sejed for bottom lane too. But I think that is more person-specific with his history on the champion.
But do you think Gakgos is a Vayne guy? I feel like that has not been his role for this team at all.
He's an Aurelia guy, so he could be a Vayne guy. I feel like Aurelia guys and Vayne guys are pretty like
they're the same guy.
They live on the same street at the very least.
They're neighbors.
Yeah, for sure.
You can go knock on his door.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you do it. You bring over some eggs. You know, discussing the matchups and stuff. Yeah, you know what? They're close enough.
What are you bringing up those eggs for?
Yeah, it's about baking cookies.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know,
he just needs some eggs.
Good ingredient for any
economy. You can just bring eggs like that. You're built like that, Kobe.
It's kind of a flex. Like that. Top laners do that.
Yeah, I can give my neighbors eggs. Not a big deal.
Speaking of flexes, as we were intending to do. The Anivia, the triple flex, the beloved triple flex for very highly likely in support, semi-likely in top lane, and also semi-likely in mid lane. They're all very, very likely, you know, and viable flex positions. You technically could still do it in AD carry. I'm going to say you technically can't do it in jungle because you get reported in 100% of those games.
That's true.
Yeah, very effective as counter pick for either solo lane. And then support here is going to have to go into Jhin and Neeko. And I was going to bring up Jhin at the beginning here for Massu because these have been his preferred carries. He has had a strong preference for the Jhin, Ezreal, and Corki. And that's what they're putting time in on yet again. And they go right into it. Huge CC bottom lane here with the Neeko Jhin. But speaking of CC, you get the Vi, so you always start to think about Talia or Ahri types of mid laners to pair with it. Ooh. Don't necessarily have to go that angle because that would reveal the flex of the Anivia. Yeah. This way you can keep full value triple flex with the Anivia. They don't have to reveal anything. All that they reveal is, hey, we have a bit of a dive comp with a Vi and a Kaisa.
You know what would actually be really interesting? I don't think we would get it for anyone except, you know, APA or something like that, but I feel like Deco mid is actually reasonable in some of these, and I feel like when you're playing into hard dive, Renata goes so crazy. So, you know, having the ability
it would be worth it.
Yeah, to me. But, you know, I feel like APA would probably be the only guy who likes Neeko mid enough that they would even consider it. So I don't think that's going to happen or anything. Kaisa, obviously, as you said, you know, is going to be kind of tipping your hand. You already had the Vi. You are going to be playing dive. Kaisa not really a strong laner if you can't find those all-ins, though, so I do kind of worry a little bit about how the 2v2 will go. Though I'm finding myself reevaluating how I'm looking at Anivia, because obviously Anivia, you know, is a stronger laner than I think I initially gave her credit for. You know, the 2v2 can be quite powerful, but I haven't seen as many pairings where it's like Anivia plus weak laner. It's usually Anivia plus Caitlyn, Anivia plus, you know, like Ezreal. I'm seeing those kind of things, more, you know, lane dominant style, so it'll be interesting to see how this works.
Yeah, I think it could have some pretty good success here, and again, I would put more weight on the Anivia support, but we'll see what the picks end up being for solo lanes here, as you know, FlyQuest, of course, are going to have to reveal a bit more before the full commit is necessary, and they're banning top laners, so Aatrox and Gwen, so. They are not believing in the impact Anivia. And if you're looking at the individual players and thinking about how flexible are the individual players, you know, the champion Anivia is really flexible.
Yeah.
But what's the likelihood of impact playing Anivia? It's probably decently low.
I agree with you, but the funny thing is, he won most Fearless in Lock-In. He had the most different champions played, but you know, I still would not see him as, I would not believe that he is playing Vayne. I would not believe that he is playing Anivia. Maybe I'd be wrong, but I wouldn't believe it until he actually does lock it in and, you know, we get in game and find out it wasn't an Aatrox Guardian incident or something. We have thrown out a number of bans up towards top side. Obviously, Vayne was a ban over on the Sentinel side, but Gwen as well as Aatrox, both good protection bans for the Sion.
So, and I like this because now their top lane bans just say, okay, fine. Even if it is an impact Anivia,
Who cares?
Now you can't flex it to not impact Anivia and bully us with an Aatrox or a Gwen, and it gives us a really easy and good Sion pick.
It's a flex.
We do get our Rell. So huhi Rell. This has been something that even before these last buffs, which I think went really under the radar, Rell is super underrated. Really came back in a big way with the previous patch buffs, not even this most recent one. But huhi was one who jumps back on it really early, and he's always been amazing with the big engage. So it is going to be DARKWINGS with his Anivia, who was always, good history with him on the champion, and had confidence. He brought it out even when he was on DSG and had a lot of confidence with it. So I think this looks very comfortable for Sentinels. Impact's history on Shen, also worth noting here. Brought it out at internationals even, and so I do like all these flexes and the threats from Sentinels, and they end up with their players on the champions that they're super insanely comfortable on. So they could have moved things around, and maybe people would be a little bit more uncomfortable with a little bit of different champions, but they do find their places into, oh man, this is like perfect for huhi, perfect for DARKWINGS, perfect for Impact. And I think that's actually a really smart draft that they've pulled off.
I agree. I guess the question is, will you be able to dive through the Jhin, the Sion, the Neeko, right? That is kind of the difficulty here. They have a very cohesive dive comp. Anivia is the one piece that's a little bit kind of like out of left field, but obviously you can set up engages by just walling someone off, looking for it in that way. Shen is a great matchup into Sion, though. It is actually really annoying for Sion. You win out in these scraps. As long as you're pulling the Keyblade through the Sion constantly, you can actually break the Soul Furnace shield before you can pop it almost every time. You can taunt to cancel his Decimating Smash. It is a very nice matchup, and I'm a big fan of Shen in general. So I think that is really cool, and you can obviously be using the Stand United on the Vi or the Kaisa or whoever as they're diving in.
And not only that, but he's also going to have a hard time in team fights. I love Anivia always into Sion too, because now you got to watch while you're driving. Like it's really difficult when the enemy team has terrain creation and can just block you like that. So they've got a lot of good answers. It also makes Neeko's job really difficult, because it can be difficult to get a really good Neeko ult in this game, especially if the lane does not go well. And in order to try and get a little bit of a sneak advantage, a lot of teams have been doing this, where mid laner, just walk out bottom with your bottom lane, see if you can get any early trade or action or advantage that way, but is going to have to walk back to mid lane at second here, and Quad gets the push.
Going to be interesting to see how the jungle matchup goes this game, because we had an incredible game 1 from HamBak, really strong game 2 from Gryffinn. And last week, Gryffinn was doing all kinds of invades against Cryo. That really was a big story of this series.
It certainly was. I mean, we talked about it in the first game, where we had a similar situation, as bottom lane gets very competitive there too. But yeah, as you see on the screen, just walked into Rappers, and he was confident going 50-50 smites here. And he won like 3 in a row, and then his smite was upgraded first too, because he was winning these smites on his invades early, and completely snowballed and punished the Skarner very heavily. So Gryffinn has had some games that have looked really good, super snowball, super stomps, and also sometimes at the hands of either Blabber or Inspired, especially been on the receiving end of some very big jungle snowball games and invades. And this time around, he's on Jhin into the Vi, which is super good for you early on, and you can force some skirmishes. You can force towards some nice objectives, especially if you've got pushing lanes like the bottom lane that we're seeing. And both junglers, for the 3rd game in a row, all pathing towards those bottom lanes. So we very well might actually see that. So Jhin always has a super nice time in the early duels there.
Man, Rahel is just really struggling to get any of this farm. I mean, the wave is pushed in, but they're actually harassing him as he's trying to pick up the CS quite a bit here. So still going to be able to maintain a full wave advantage down on that bot side with the minions now equalized. So that is pretty significant here early on. Rahel has also used his potion. They used the heal on huhi as well. He does have his cleanse, but you know, that's not going to be that helpful in those potential 2v2s. So we'll see if they can start to stabilize a little bit as they get some more levels. Impact did lose the push early on. Obviously, one of the big weaknesses of Shen, and a lot of times when I talk to pro players and I ask about, oh, Shen's really strong right now in solo queue, you know, you guys consider, they always reference the wave clear is too weak. And we are going to see this connected on, and it's going to be the Vi going down pretty much for free. Walked in, claims the scuttle, but just kind of stood there and took it.
That is a very dangerous crab to go for when your bottom lane is getting pushed in like that.
And your mid lane.
And your mid lane as well, and your
losing jungle matchup.
Vi versus the Jhin. And he wants to stick around and make sure he gets this smite correct, which allows Cryogen to get a really good snare. And so props to Cryogen on the Neeko, already getting the Neeko value. So he snared him off the crab, and it's tale as old as time.
I mean, that was good CC.
Jungler death for a crab.
Maybe he thought, hey, it's worth using my flash for this. I'll just smite it, and then I'll flash over the wall. But he gets rooted, then deadly flourish, then scatter, knock up. Like, you know, all this stuff is coming through. I don't even know if the flash scatter connected before he died, but all the other CC was there. And the problem, Massu got first blood, so HamBak might not have to deal with that, but their bot lane was already losing. The wave is frozen on them very heavily now, and Massu has double buffs in an already winning lane, and that wave positioning is terrible. Rahel is going to have no choice but to just base, but you base here, you are denying that entire next wave because there is a cannon, so you're going to lose those 6 minions. You're already down 4, so now you're going to be even further behind, as Massu just decides, you know what, I can actually stay around, have a little bit of regen from that red buff, and he feels like he's in a decent enough position and didn't want to miss the cannon.
Whew. Yeah, I mean, it is going to be painful down there. Massu's going to have really big burst damage. People always complain about Jhin. He doesn't do anything. Mr., you know, useful, meaning useless. But he's going to be actually useful this time around, especially with the Neeko lane. Going to have some really, really potent pick potential. I'm still thinking, though, about the crab fight as we see another little trail on jungle
crab
here.
On your brain.
Got crab on the brain. We'll discuss it later, though, because we got dragon on the menu.
Crab on the brain, dragon on the menu. We'll see if FlyQuest can push them back. Flash forward there with the Shattering Strike on two. Gryffinn is getting knocked down so fast. Rahel picks up the kill, and that was important as Rahel had been put so far behind. Quad moving down, but can't really find anything. It's just a great engage from huhi.
This game is just supports beating up on junglers, man. Support is OP. They're trashing us out there. Cryogen just wrecked HamBak in the first play. Now huhi completely annihilates Gryffinn in the second one as he jumps out after his jungler is able to get the dragon too. So, I mean, that was a beautiful Q flash from huhi and grabs the flash from Gryffinn as Gryffinn flashes to try and get away from it. Boom, right into it, and he gets the stun. So, nice supports versus junglers, and supports are 2-0, bro.
Yep, and now Vi is level 6 here. He's going to go back in, and in comes the Stand United. They want to fight for this. He's going to be able to claim it. Gryffinn dies again. Can't get the smite. Even if he did, he would have died regardless, but at least he'd be going home with something.
Well, got the crab.
Yeah, and you're going to get a plate at the very least on top side.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that Stand United is worth it, because Impact has no TP. You have to be really careful with your Shen ults, because sometimes you're doing great in lane, you ult away. He's down 21 CS. You ulted away from a pushing wave, you're going to give up 2 plates. You're going to be down a lot. He got the kill, or he would be mega down.
So this wave at the very least is a cannon wave. Okay, he loses the cannon, but because it's a cannon wave and that took so many turret shots, you know, at least gets back for these.
But 400 still, gold down off of ult you got to kill for.
Yeah, it's still very, very painful. It's a huge resource investment because the cooldown, like you're saying, cooldown's insanely long early on here for the Shen, but you know, it's worth throwing a lot at these crab fights because the crab fights have a lot of mental that go with them as well.
Can't put a price on the destroyed mental of your opponent.
There we
flash forward. They're going to fully send it. The stun is there to follow it up. Quad is in trouble. He will burn down, but not before he gets one back. That is double flash and all committed for a 1-for-1. Not bad from Quad.
Yeah, and yeah, HamBak full sent it here. Yeah, you have to think that he knew. He was like, okay, yeah, this guy has flash, but it's all good. I'll just die for it. And he's like, I'm gonna full commit and die for this fight anyway. It'll be worth us like denying some minions and stuff, and trading flashes. But does go down, and yeah, gives they do get at least the counter kill. Of course, the assisted kill always extra there too, plus the minions, plus the tower plate. So
I think I would have agreed if it was just the Vi flash, but DARKWINGS had to flash to follow up with the stun.
Yeah,
so with the Anivia flashing too, that makes it a lot more tough. And Impact getting aggressive, missed the pull through on that second Q, and doesn't want to commit to it just yet. Gryffinn is in the area, so if he overchases, he could be in trouble, but is able to deny this cannon, I think, at the very least. So that should be annoying for Gakgos.
All right, now that we have some time, I'd like to bring you back to the first crab fight and the theory behind it.
Get this crab off your brain.
The reason that HamBak was not scared of the roam for bot lane up is that he literally did think that Neeko was Jhin, and he was because he was wearing Massu's skin.
Yeah.
He was wearing Massu's skin. However, you should probably have seen that the Neeko left the lane first and is probably going to be the first one up there. But that's what I have to think, because that's why he was like, oh, I can finish the crab and then I get away, because Jhin would have to auto or grenade me first and then deadly first. So that, that's the only real threat there. But because it was actually the Neeko wearing the Jhin skin, he was able to hit him with the quick root. I think that I could believe it. I think it's usually people don't but
don't usually get tricked, but it happens from time to time.
Maybe.
I mean, I could believe it's something like that, or I think it's that, or he just thought, I'll be able to steal this and then flash out over the wall, because he was hugging the wall, right? But then he just got CC chained full, so maybe just either way, obviously a miscalculation and a pretty big oopsie. The 2v2 going well again here for Massu and Cryogen, up 500 gold. If Rahel hadn't picked up that kill off of the engage, he would be way out of it. So Sentinels is up that 1 kill, but still down about 1,000 gold as the lane's going way better here for FlyQuest.
Yep. Hex optics completed. Massu feeling good.
I like that so much more than the Ghostblade Rush, by the way. I know sometimes Jhin players feel like they need it for that move speed, but going to open up the curtain call here as they are full sending out a DARKWINGS. That is that missing flash. They're even going to pop the Pop Blossom to try to knock him down here. Will be able to finish him off as out goes Gakgos. He is just ulting through to the enemy base where he could probably look for a recall here. I think he has time.
Yeah, should be able to do it right through the minions. Vi, Q. He doesn't have flash and doesn't want to go, use ulti or anything. Couldn't get there in time, so nice escape from Gakgos. But man, the timing on the bot lane reset. So what happened here is bot lane kind of pressure is leaking. They get their reset for Cryogen and Massu, and they run straight up through mid lane, right into the range for the Deadly Flourish, into the ultimate, pops him, and then you get Neeko follow-up.
Hate when I have a leaky bot lane. It's terrible.
It's leaking all over the map, man.
Gotta call your jungler, plug that thing up. Fix that bot lane.
Jungler's on dragon, dealing with the dragons.
Can't get down there. It's going to keep leaking. Impact's up towards the top side, is going for that Titanic rush here, pretty much as expected. Sometimes people will just kind of go full tank. There is a lot of debate amongst the Shen one-tricks on, should you go Titanic? Is it too expensive? Is it more effective to just go full tank and, build a little bit of wave clear here with Sunfire or Hollow Radiance, as a lot of people do prefer.
And then there's the debate of, do you want more damage as we have a fight, though?
Yep, here comes the Stand United. They're going to full send it onto Gryffinn. It is same place, Deja Vu in the middle of everyone, and huhi finds a monster engage. The Magnet Storm hitting everyone there as FlyQuest have to run. The Stand United got interrupted, but honestly, that's probably better for Impact.
Yeah, it definitely is. His presence was unnecessary, but the shield and the reset for the fight there is beautiful for Sentinels. huhi Rell, man, is really, really useful. Able to get the big clump on the re-engage. I mean, Sentinels here have 2 dragon stacking, and they keep getting these bottom side plays going in their favor.
And look at all the CDR that huhi has already. Rush the Lucidity boots, grab the Kindle gem. So he's got the early CDR, and back-to-back, his flashes have been fantastic. But Gryffinn is just kind of on these solo missions, right? And sometimes, he's able to get these leads and really create massive advantages because he goes for these kind of aggressive plays. But this is a couple times now that he has been punished.
And I mean, it can be hard to fight around this bottom lane because, yes, Shen ultimate, you know, the top side always has something extra they can give to it. Also, wait a second, now Impact under tower getting...
Yeah, Impact could be in some trouble. Gakgos going to be able to flash out as they knock down Impact, and now they can set up for a redive here onto huhi. You can see HamBak is moving up, as is DARKWINGS, and HamBak is going to be spotted. Gryffinn's just running straight in onto him, and he's going to have to flash back over the wall as he went for the Vault Breaker over the side. Now going to be rooted up there by the Jhin. Massu on point with the curtain call, trying to get the kill, but instead it will go to Cryogen. FlyQuest with a great play on the top side, knocked down a couple, and are trying to threaten for first tower.
Man, they really good responses here from them too. I mean, we're getting maximum value out of a lot of these deadly flourishes. The range here from Massu really coming in clutch, following up on so many plays. The mid lane play where Quad hit the stun, bot side play where Cryogen hits the snare. Top side here, they're going to get the tower as well, and that is first tower bonus gold for FlyQuest, pushing the lead to 2.3K, despite the dragon stacking coming from Sentinels.
Yeah, that is a big gold lead for them. And as you said, Sentinels, their advantage really is just the dragon stacking. So we'll see if they can try to maintain control over their push towards Soul, if they're going to have to start giving it up. Impact now has that Titanic completed, but will not be that tanky without any resistances just yet. And Sentinels, I think, are just going to have to try to keep making plays around huhi and this Stand United.
Oh yeah, what I was going to say is after Titanic, can I raise you even more damage? Dusk and Dawn, baby. Oh, man.
You can raise me. I'm down for it.
I'm so addicted. It is so fun. But
Massu going to be in a lot of trouble. Cease and desist is thrown out, and he is knocked down through the barrier. No chance to survive there. Didn't have the flash, and Rahel has just been picking up a lot of these kills left, right, and center off of his teammates' great engages.
Yeah, follow-up here, really good. Kaisa ultimate. Some of the bot side plays able to answer here. If you give too much money... Wait a second, he does get hit with the stun. Can he get fully outplayed with the R button? Not quite yet.
It's about a 90% of the outplay there, as Quad getting pretty strong. He's not on a Ludens, though. Did go for that Black Fire Torch. And
yeah, he's only at 70 splinters now, so he doesn't have his 100 upgrade for the execute, or that would be full outplay.
Yep, would have absolutely destroyed him there. Gakgos doing his best to hang on to this tower. DARKWINGS just going for the pretty standard New Age Roa rush, but we'll see if he is going to be going in towards Leandry second. I always am a pretty big fan of it, but does not look like it with the Mana Crystal. And now they're trying to set up a potential dive here. In comes Massu to try to back him up. DARKWINGS is just tanking this up there, has the passive. It takes them a while, but they do eventually knock down Gakgos, are able to pull off the dive.
And look at that. It was moments ago we were talking about the FlyQuest over 2,000 gold lead. Immediately chopped down here. Some good plays from Sentinels. And they still have a Shen ult they could try and use to save Rahel.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any way to save him now. He has no flash. They pop the Stand United. He does reposition himself and blast cones out to safety. Beautifully done there, barely getting out. Impact is going to be in some trouble. The Herald going to get summoned here. DARKWINGS not in position to be able to actually wall this one off, so the charge will come through. I cannot believe he survived. The Stand United, the Killer Instinct, the Mega Blast Cone, all working in tandem to keep him safe.
He stays alive, but can we say the same for huhi? Oh, we can!
You can. Wait, Blackfire Torch?
Oh, he popped the pop.
Oh my gosh. That was almost a Blackfire Torch burn down. Quad barely misses out on the kill.
No way! Impact stole it!
Oh my god.
Yo, Titanic, baby!
Oh my god.
Hit him with the burst! Did Gryffinn...
Wait, Gryffinn had no smite.
Yeah, no smite charge.
Did he use smite, I guess, in the fight? Oh.
I'll go investigate.
That is an unfortunate series of events, let's say that, for FlyQuest.
They barely miss out on 2 kills.
Now they're looking for another potential redive, but Cryogen is here to defend. Impact will be able to sidestep the route. Yeah, they barely miss out on 2 kills back-to-back, including one of a bounty, and then you lose the dragon to a Shen. Ouch. All right,
So,
Kobe's reviewing.
So far, my investigation is revealing that he did smite enemy raptors when he stole them.
Okay.
And I think that's the only charge.
Yeah, he just didn't have it.
That's it. But he did get those raptors.
He did get the raptors. He did lose the dragon. The opponents are on soul point, but he got the raptors.
And Impact, I'm sure, was laughing.
Yeah.
After he was able to steal that
And we
one.
talked about it, you know, sometimes you're just willing to die for raptors. And if you're willing to die for raptors, you're definitely willing to lose a game for raptors, you know? Quad now He may be dying for this too, as HamBak gonna get knocked away there by Gakgos. Good peel there by Gakgos, keeping the Vi out of range, so he was not able to get in for the cease and desist onto quad. And Massu and Cryogen gonna be able to push up and should knock down this tower. Second of the game is Gryffinn scrapping with impact, but decides not to fully commit to it.
Okay, bot side as well. They're doing the trailing double solo laner tactic with Gakgos and Quad both having teleports. So they were trying to see if they could find anything there. Can't quite do it. And Gakgos just going to go for his reset now, back up to the other side of the map. Still doesn't have his ult, but they've got both of the teleports. And here we go. Look at the combo. Yeah, so Gryffinn doesn't have Smite, so Q on Impact is really good for stealing jungle monsters already, and then boom. Able to use his Titanic proc. Yeah, Grayson's like, what?
He doesn't have a smite.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good job by HamBak. Track the enemy smite.
Did they have a ward on their own Raptors then and saw him use that?
They must have. I mean, he said he doesn't have smite,
another investigation.
Called it out. So well done there by HamBak, tracking the enemy smite. And I think it could also have just been that it got low and he didn't smite.
Yeah,
it,
he's
right?
waiting around. Yeah,
he was waiting around at 600, so he's like, hey, he doesn't have it. Now HamBak gonna go back in. Nice buffer on the scatter. The Stand United is coming through. It's the flash over the wall onto Quad. Quad gonna be able to flash back over the wall, but Impact chasing him. HamBak is low as Gakgos arrives. Gryffinn battling in the midst of everyone, but Cryogen has been pushed back. Rahel has killed off Massu on the side, and Sentinels are winning out in the fight again. Gryffinn doesn't have the juice to get the job done, and Gakgos has no damage left. Sentinels are going to take down all of FlyQuest. It's going to be a delayed ace.
Ooh, I mean, that on top of the 3 dragons, Azael. Looks like Sentinel's going to wrap this one up. Let's take a look at how it started. So, Vi in here, immediately jumped on, immediately stunned, but a beautiful ultimate from him. He actually immunes the stun during the ultimate. Then they get the follow-up. Even with Quad flashing over, they can't come back from that one. And Rahel jumped onto Massu, the assassin in the back there. Able to take out enemy AD carry as well.
I mean, that made such a big difference. Massu just gets caught in transition by Rahel, and that is not a 1v1 you can win once Rahel gets up onto that Jhin. So able to get that. Rahel is getting so fed at this point.
I mean, that was also just a beautiful snipe with the W.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't like, oh, Jhin had opened up on the ultimate and was a stationary target. He was still walking and hits him with the W and immediately takes it in.
Yeah, I mean, they got smacked in the 2v2 pretty hard, but Rahel is up 1.7K, and that is a pretty damn good position. You can see Impact all time on the Shen. Shen has really fallen out of favor in the last quite a few years, but the early days of Impact, he was playing a ton of it, you know, was known for it, even back in the T1 days before, you know, or excuse me, SKT1 days back in the day when they were still called that. So definitely has been a popular champion at times, and he goes Bandlepipe second. So he's saying, you know what, my carries are strong, we don't need more damage, I just need to apply slows, and the attack speed buff is going to get it done.
It's very good for Vi. It's very good for Kaisa, of course, with the on-hit build, especially here for Rahel. So definitely a worthwhile investment. And he didn't even need a Dusk and Dawn to be able to steal the dragon. So
nope,
it's all good. Titanic was enough. And it for sure was, oh, you see a jungler walking around a low health dragon that's below 1400 already, you're like, that guy for sure doesn't have smite.
Why is that guy not smiting? As FlyQuest trying to get their way in here, this would be Soul, and they are just rushing it down. HamBak and Rahel killing it quickly. Gryffinn going to be going in. In comes Gakgos into the backline. The dragon at 4K. Gryffinn looking to get in for it, but he's not going to be able to get it low yet, so they're just going to have to back off because DARKWINGS is crushing them on the side. Gakgos incredibly low. Griffin's going to go back in. Pops the Crescent Guard. The Pop Blossom across multiple members. Huhi's in trouble. Rahel is dominating though as he knocks down Cryogen. Griffin's still alive, but not for long. The killer instinct from Rahel goes into the backline. They're focusing down Quad. Quad is going to get knocked down. Rahel barely survives time and time again. FlyQuest cannot finish off these low health bars. Sentinels walk away from the fight with blinking HP, but only one death in the curtain call can find nothing.
beautiful again from Sentinels. These team fights. You have Anivia on the side, creating so much space. They burn down the front line first, force Gakgos to actually try and walk away. Anivia wall and ulti creating so much space, and then Rahel is able to burn down the isolated targets there. Here, take a look at it. So walls them off, then force the other ones, huge zone with the ultimate. Even with the engage over the top, he knows he's safe because he still has the egg. So they walk up as Gakgos goes for the engage, and they can create this zone where Gakgos is walking out slowly, taking so much damage. Meanwhile, Impact over there with the Shen able to use the dodge zone, and then even during the re-engage, they're just able to immediately pop Cryogen afterwards. Support Neeko goes down. They turn back to the Dragon for a second, while the only counter kill goes through due to the Syndra ult, and Rahel's like, all right, we got the Dragon, I'm in. Ulti into the backline. You always love to see these killer instincts into the backline to finish off these kills, and escapes with his life with the Dragon Soul acquired.
And despite that great start, from the Jhin, it's just looking in these fights like they just don't have the damage to actually knock down that front line. The Syndra and the Jhin really struggling to deal at all with the Shen, and I mean, I hate to kind of beat it at its horse, but I just don't understand Protobelt in a lot of these games. I just feel like it's not really getting that much. Yeah, you have the move, but I just feel like that little dash is not worth the amount of sacrifice you have in damage. He has no spell pen, and it feels like they can't kill frontline.
If you only have 4 shots on Jhin, and Shen can block some of them,
yep,
then it is Omega already hard to get through that. And we saw how much work, the Anivia is kind of just like burning down the opposing front line, and they're working through it a lot easier. So yeah, that plus it's a lot about burst with Jhin and with Neeko, and Neeko now is like, wow, you can have some moments where you can get an ultimate, but you're so squishy, you're probably just gonna die right after. And if you guys aren't gonna be able to burst the enemy, which you're certainly not going to with Chemtech Soul as well on top of it, and already was going to be a difficult task, then seems like Sentinels have a very easy route to try and finish out this game. With Baron and the Dragon Soul, just push all 3 lanes here. You've got a Shen ultimate ready. It doesn't matter that they have the opportunity to try and go for like a Sion ult engage, and try and go bursty on somebody, Sion ult and Neeko or something like that, because your response time is very short, no matter what lane people are coming from, and you're very durable, so you can create a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, the Quad just can't deal with him. He doesn't have the damage. Quad was basically going just trying to wave clear against that Shen. Gakgos being able to hold this top side pretty effectively, but Sentinels have battled back again. They get themselves into these deficits, but they're really playing well from a deficit. They were down, 2.5K around, I don't know, 13, 15 minutes, something like that. And they are in full control about 10 minutes later, looking like the game is going to end soon for them.
Nice, nice long team fights from Sentinels, and very important Dragon take too. The steal from Impact ends up being critical here. So props all around to the entire team, and we get to play our game of, who deserves the player of the game the most? Now, I know a lot of people are going to say Rahel, because of the Kaisa, getting a lot of kills. I think that would be valid. But there's a lot of other good options too. I mean, huhi had some very nice Rell engages. I think this time around I am, leaning towards the Rahel crowd. Even though the previous one I went for huhi, but definitely liked it. All right, here we go with the attempt for the side lane play. And this is one of those attempts where you're just like, but we got to try something, guys. And so,
yeah.
I mean, you can say, ha, you didn't get it, but
Yeah, I mean, even if Gryffinn caught up, are they really going to kill him? I mean, they're down, even your top laner is down 3 levels, and HamBak going to be pushing in here. But like you say, you got to try something, or it is just going to be a slow bleed. And this game definitely looking like it is going in that direction. May I offer up an Impact consideration as well? Impact did lose the early lane 1v1, but he stole the Dragon. He made nonstop, Stand United plays down towards the bot side.
Yep.
I think he's played pretty darn well, and he's frontlining effectively. It's always nice to see Impact back in form. Timing that parry really well in the 5v5s on the 4-shot from Massu, and he's playing it out well. It's a lot of good options, I feel like, this game for Sentinels.
Definitely agree. DARKWINGS, good zone control, good Anivia play so far. Let's see how they finish though. And honestly, only 30 seconds on the Elder Dragon. That might be the angle because their defensive siege is okay. With Anivia, you can always wave clear. But their offensive siege and hitting the towers is very slow for Sentinels. So it might be a Elder Dragon angle for them.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I mean, it's all about the hard engage, right? When you are playing with a Kaisa, it's so dangerous to walk up and just try to hit that thing. Remember, after the broadcast, head on over to the Cloud9 YouTube and Twitch channels for the scene. Oh, we're going to find an engage. Pop Blossom coming through. Rahel is going to go in, but Rahel maybe went too far. He goes into the stasis. He could be in a lot of trouble here. Flashing out to safety for now, though. Impact getting low. The curtains are going to get called. Rahel is going to get knocked down. He has been finally killed off. Gakgos flashes out. Cryogen is incredibly low. It will just be the trade of kills, but FlyQuest finally getting one back.
Rahel in an arm guard. He really wanted to use it and make a super cool play, but he invests so much getting so deep in there and has to flash out afterwards, doesn't get damage off, and that is the biggest advantage that they have. Regardless of that though, regardless of it, they still have control of the Dragon setup. They're still gonna go for that Elder Dragon. Now, it is no smite FlyQuest on the approach. Gryffinn, 10 seconds on his death timer. He would also have to walk all the way from base. So, FlyQuest, they're trying to push him off anyway. They want to go for the fight and make sure that during the time where they have no jungler, at least Sentinels don't take the Elder Dragon, and Sentinels will respect the move.
Big from Rahel, though. He had enough gold for the Zhonias. So he uses the Seekers, but now he has it up and ready to go once again here. FlyQuest will knock down a tower on the bot side, claim that bounty, and Gakgos does pull the Elder. HamBak has based, and he has a GA now, so he's coming back out from base here. Quad completed the death cap, and he is going to be teleporting back in to join the team. Huhi, though, looking for a flank. He's not been spotted, and Huhi could be getting in the back line. Now Quad going to try to market him. HamBak going to get involved on this. Does vault over the wall. Cryogen looking for the Pop Blossom, but Rahel is just going to pop the Zhonias. Massu's in trouble on the side as he gets flashed on there by Huhi and stunned up, and Massu is going to get knocked down by HamBak. FlyQuest have no damage. It's a double for Rahel. Massu is not going to be able to survive. Quad has to flash to safety, but it's a 1v5, and this should do it for Sentinels.
Great stuff from Sentinels. Nice approach there. This time around, Rahel knows, all right, just the Neeko and the Sion on my side, there's not a lot of damage there. I can definitely go for the full engage. Uses the upgraded Zhonias, and Sentinels cleanly are going to end out this game.
Going to be able to march it down here and finish it off. Sentinels going to get their first series win of the split here. Move themselves to 1-2. People were favoring FlyQuest in this one. We'll see if FlyQuest can hold on. Their respawns are coming through here very shortly, but Rahel is just focusing down the towers. Massu is back up. Quad is still here. There's a lot of low health bars. The curtains are going to get called, and there's going to be the GA popped already. DARKWINGS is running for the hills. Cryogen trying to catch back up. HamBak going to turn and fight and might just kill Cryogen. Can't quite do it. The Elder and the Baron are both alive, and the jungler is dead. They could try to rush out here and get more. Gryffinn is going to look, and look at the devastation on the face of Golden Glue. He knows this is a problem. How much can FlyQuest get, though? And remember, their Nexus is very exposed.
I always like Elder because then Elder, you can, like, for sure go get the Baron afterwards. Wait, Rahel is gonna... Is Rahel by himself up there?
Is he soloing the Baron?
Oh, Shen on him, Shen on him. Okay, so they can take the Baron with the Shen shield up there to Rahel. So it's gonna be a trade. And you do... Again, you're still gonna want the Elder for the combat power. But at least for Sentinel's sake, they're able to trade. Rahel goes up there, plenty of damage, and so Sentinels at least are going to be able to salvage it there. I would still like to retract my previous statement of the clean part, though, for the end, for Sentinels.
That's fair.
Redacted.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we can scrub that out. But FlyQuest, hold on. I do think, you know, yes, the Elder is more powerful, but Sentinels can just delay with the Baron. You've got Anivia, you've got Baron, you don't need to fight. There's nothing else on the map for them to take, so it was really important that Sentinels did get the Baron from that spot. Of course, FlyQuest do survive and will be looking to try to hard force a fight. Let's see if they can find anything, because the fights are going to be heavily in their favor. And now with this additional power that they have, And they are going to be pushing it up, but yeah, this is all Sentinels really has to do. Just Baron empower these minions, clear out the waves, and just refuse to interact for the next minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, and now you're starting to get a lot of the extra AP for Rahel too, so the W's are going to be super annoying.
Ouch.
Those things keep landing too, so he just gets more and more. All right.
FlyQuest, though, maybe going to try to force here. Gakgos moving forward is going to get walled off. They're knocking down the tower. HamBak is on the side. Sentinels intelligently just back it up, but Gakgos is going to try to just force it down. They know this might be their only chance to try to make something happen. Impact on the side is going to get jumped on, knocked up, scattered. Impact has to shadow dash back over the wall. Will stay safe. Next wave coming in now for FlyQuest. They are really trying to force here.
Wave clear from Anivia is very difficult to deal with, and the walls, just the wall spam, wave clear. Look how much damage the tower has taken. Almost none. There, like, put a tiny scratch on that thing. Anivia wave clear is already, you know, famous worldwide, has been for decades. But also with a Baron buff, yeah, pretty hard to make any inroads into the Sentinels' territory there. So they are able to stall off during the Elder Dragon buff. But again, it's another negative Baron power play because of it.
The third item, Sunfire, is seeming super random from Gakgos. I'm not going to lie. We already have Titanic, but maybe that's all he can compete. Massu does have his Infinity Edge, so now Jhin starts to actually become real. People make fun of Jhin early game, you know, mid game. Yeah, I do think the damage is quite low, but this champion does scale really, really effectively. He has a pot in his inventory. He has the Infinity Edge. You do get to a point where your burst is real, so we'll see if FlyQuest can make anything happen. The Baron buff is about to expire here. 20 seconds. Impact pushing heavily on the bot lane. And FlyQuest, not sure if they want to go for it. Impact just taunts the safety and will stay safe.
They can't really siege with Baron that crazy.
True. Not a good siege comp. That definitely has been established throughout the game. They haven't really been able to push. It's really just two teams looking for fights, right? That has been what this has been all about. You can see a lot of defensive itemization is done now. Rahel has obviously had the Zonies for a long time. Now he has the Banshees on top. The GA is almost back for HamBak as well, which is going to be a big one.
All right. Man, this is a lot longer than we were looking at or expecting here previously. So now it's going to be about the setup. Can you actually make any sort of a pick here with your defensive vision already up? Sentinels so far doing a good job clearing it out methodically, waiting for the rest of the team here. Support plus jungle, move in, make sure they have plenty of vision to support the split push so you can get your 4-1 split push, apply your pressure. Mid-wave already has super minions with the inhibitor down, so you have this extra line. They can try and walk down, and Shen ultimate is ready here for impact. So setting it up once again, and again, you don't want to make any big blunders because in 2 minutes, the Elder and the Baron are both going to be back on the map. So it is nice if you see something present itself, but you don't want to check into too much darkness. And defensive vision here with a small map is actually, you know, easy for FlyQuest to just, all right, we're going to hunker down. We've got a couple minutes before the big objectives do get here. So Sentinels are like, you know what? All right, fine. Nobody's going to stick their head out. We'll just take the conservative, easy extra advantages of your jungle camps. Keep you pinned inside your base so that we know any of the wards that you previously had would have expired. And we have found all of the pink ones already. So the approach for you, FlyQuest, is going to be very dangerous and difficult out of the base into full darkness once it does happen. But because it is a Chem Soul Rift, you do get the extra plants, and those can actually help a lot in some of these contests later. The plentiful Scryer's blooms cover a large area. So maybe that will be the key for them to find the opening.
Look at this from Massu. He picks up the Seekers, which I actually think is a pretty intelligent buy. With 1,600 gold, what are you going to get that's better at this point in the game?
Yeah, like Immune of Vial or something.
Exactly. Immune of Vial that's coming in, that is going to be really powerful. Maybe that buys time, you know, for Rahel Killer Instincts in and you pop that for your team to try to turn around on her, because a BT or whatever is not going to save you in that position. And he is going to be having the Vamp ready, you know, probably from runes. Obviously, he has Fleet Forward, but also has the potion still in inventory. So I do think it's a pretty intelligent buy here. though it is not a common one. They're going to be able to land the Deadly Flourish over onto Huhi. All the teams know this is likely a one-fight game, probably going to come down to this Elder, and it is going to be Sentinels in the area, starting it up immediately. And we'll see how FlyQuest can try to approach. This is going to be difficult.
Yeah, it certainly is. Walls off mid. Gakgos trying to run straight through those.
Yeah, it's still the Shen just pushing through bot, trying to put the pressure on. This Dragon is getting incredibly low, and Gryffinn is not able to get there. They're claim it. In comes the Stand United. HamBak is into the backline. Gryffinn is bursting down. He pops the Crescent Guard, trying to stay alive. huhi trying to get in there to finish him off. Flash forward from DARKWINGS. The first kill is going to go their way. The Pop Blossom is there as Rahel is in the backline with the Stasis Pop. Everyone on FlyQuest is falling. They got there too late, and it was far too little. Gakgos will try to buy some time, but they got a wave bot. It doesn't even matter. Sentinels finally will seal the deal with a teleport down to bot lane. They're going to take the series, knock down FlyQuest, and finally claim their first victory of the split with a monster performance from Rahel on the Kaisa, looking good in this one.
Congratulations to Sentinels. They worked for it, and they get the dub. Quad at the end, went to the back of the pit to try and get a miracle steal on the Elder, but HamBak's smite is good, and so are Sentinels. Chances of success in the series, congratulations, they did it. Analyst, who's your player of the game?
Tensions on our side. Yeah, we actually, I think we're all split. All of us here on the.
Yeah, we're not going to show our cards just like that because you ask, buddy. That's not how that works down here.
Yeah, what was your votes, Azael and Kobe?
Yeah.
They're just putting us on the spot.
Yeah, they're already gone.
I will